So, hey guys, I just wanted to share kind of my journey to becoming a stylist and moving to New York. So, it's kind of a long story. Hopefully, it will help some people. I just was talking to someone else about this and it really helped them. So, I was like, let me share it. And I've been meaning to share it for a long time. So, we're finally doing that. So, I've been a stylist now since 2012. So for about 8 years, I started when I was working for an automotive company, completely separate and different. Everyone knew I was into fashion. So a girlfriend of a coworker was doing an event and he was like, hey, she really needs to bring some fashion to this event. Will you help her? So I said, okay, fine. At the time I was doing jewelry. I was making jewelry and that was like my thing that I wanted to like pop off. I was like, I want to be a jewelry maker and a jewelry designer and this is what needs to be my thing. So I was kind of trying to help her. She was like, hey, you should meet the producer and writer for the web series because that was what the event was for. And I was like, okay, cool, like let's figure it out. And she's like, maybe you can get your jewelry into the web series. I was like, that would be amazing. Yes, let's do it. So once I met with her, I kind of got my little pictures together of all the things my jewelry had been in. And after the meeting, she was like, hey, so I want you to style the web series. And I was like, excuse me, what? Me? I said yes, because like, who says no? So I said yes and didn't really know what I was doing. I knew what a stylist was. I knew what a stylist did, but I was like, how do I do it? So I basically just Googled stylist kit and got all of those things that I needed for my like so-called kit and created mood boards for all of the characters. She loved them. So I started working on her web series and pretty much did that for the first like 8 months, just like worked with her on her web series. She was doing, I think, a short film. So I did some stuff for the promo for that. And fast forward to December of that year, this was May. So December of that year, I got laid off from my job. So I was like, this is craziness. It is what it is. And I was like, now I can really get a career in fashion because I wanted to work corporate, but in fashion. So in December, one of the like original cast members of the web series was like, hey, I'm doing a short film. Will you style it for me? So I was like, sure. And the original person that I was doing the web series with, she was rebooting the web series with like new people. So she's like, hey, I need you to do the costuming again. I was like, okay, fine. And I just started thinking like, okay, so people are asking me to do this consistently. Maybe I should try it and see what happens. So I put my website or put my pictures, which were only behind the scenes of the web series initially, on Model Mayhem, only place I knew to put my pictures at the time. And it took about like probably like 4 weeks or so for my portfolio to get approved. So I did all the filming for the short film and the web series like maybe in January timeframe, like end of January. And then my stuff got approved maybe in like end of March. So like after January, I was like, oh, maybe I should try to do this. We'll see. And put it out there within probably like my first week of getting approved. I had 3 photo shoots. So I was like, oh, okay, so these photos worked. Now we got to figure this out, and just started sending out requests. I was literally searching high and low everywhere on the internet for designers. My very first pull was with this company called Gypsy Junkies, and they were amazing. It was literally the only place I pulled from. I was terrified when I was rolling up there because I was like, what if they ask me for money? What if they like need all of these things? I'm like, I don't have a job. I don't have money to give them. And I selected the clothes that I needed for the shoot, and they were like, okay, well, we'll see you in a few days. And I was like, okay, thanks. And I like took the clothes and I was like, we're asking no questions. We're just leaving and we're bringing the clothes back. So I did all of that within like the first year. Within the first month, I had my first feature film which was basically doing pickups for a movie that had already been shot, but they just needed to shoot the rest of it. This lighting, what is happening? So guys, I don't know what's going on. The lighting is crazy. So I did that, and then probably a few months later, I did another feature film. In this time, I'm doing short films. I'm doing editorials and all of that stuff. And my career kind of just took off. I was still very much doing free things and living off of my unemployment, okay? And it was just a lot. So like that pretty much sustained my life, kind of. And then I was doing styling to kind of build up my portfolio and get that stuff together. In the first year, I assisted maybe like 1 or 2 people. Very rarely, literally did it maybe on like 2 or 3 shoots here and there. Fast forward to the next January, unemployment is running out, is done, it is dried up, and now I have to figure out something because I'm still not getting paid from being a stylist. So I was like, I need to get this together. So I prayed about it. I was like, God, I need jobs, I need things, I need all of the things, and literally was just paying my rent last day of the month for like 2 months. And I was like, I don't know what to do, because, you know, I felt like God had called me to be a stylist, and now I'm not getting paid for this. So yeah, God, like, what are we doing? Where's the money's at? Like, what are we doing? So literally, like, everything was off. So like my cell phone was off. If someone was trying to hire me, they couldn't because my cell phone was off. The internet in my apartment was off. Paying my rent late every single month. The only thing that literally was staying on was the electricity. And so, well, clear and water, but, so I went to my roommate and I was just like frustrated, and my old roommate, you know what I'm saying? She was just like right here with God. Like he would just talk to her directly. And I had heard God talk before, but you know, your mind gets a little clouded and you're like, what do? I feel like I'm not hearing you, but you might be talking and I'm over talking you with all of my thoughts. So I was like, I just need to talk to her. So I talked to her and I was like, look, I need to talk to him. So we need to have a conversation. And we did. And she was basically like, search the word about what it says about finances, and you need to clean your room. I said, excuse me? I tell everyone I am a borderline hoarder. My room is always a mess, okay? So I was like, how you just gonna cover my neck like this and tell me I need to clean my room? Like, I'll do that when I want to, which is tomorrow, because I'm in my feelings right now. So I did all of that, and literally within like 2 days, maybe a day or so, some kind of way the internet was back on. I have no idea. The internet was back on. Like, she was literally home and she was like, so the internet's back on. I was like, how, Sway? How? My phone bill is with Verizon. They called me and was like, hey, so we need to figure out how to get your phone back on. I was like, excuse me? You're calling me to figure out how to get my phone back on? Like, I'm very confused. And literally paid them no money. They were like, okay, so you're going to pay come this time. We're going to turn your phone back on. And I was like, huh? Okay. Then I think it was like the next day after all of this stuff happened, someone called me and was like, hey, I need you to style my music video. What are your rates? I was like my full day rates, like my actual rates, like not a discounted rate, but like, you want to pay full price? And I was just like blown away. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I said, God, you move like super quick. Like, what is going on? So from that point on, like, it wasn't like I was getting jobs like left and right, but I was definitely working consistently enough to where I didn't have to, like, you know, I could pay my bills pretty much. Then I got into a styling competition, and I just like prayed. I said, look, I don't want to win this. I just need to work with these people again. That's all I want. So that's what happened. I did not win. I won my episode, but I didn't win the full competition. And then fast forward maybe a couple months later. So this was probably like March-ish. So fast forward to June, I prayed again and was like, God, look, we done caught up on the bills with that check. I need another check that looks similar to that. Thanks. Same production company called me and was like, hey, we're doing a makeover show with this YouTuber. We want you to be the stylist for the show. And I was like, okay. And they're like, we'll pay you this much. I was like, okay, God, like, you're working real quick, like real quick. So that happened. I did that, still was kind of working. Now it's 2014. And I decided that I really wanted to go to Fashion Week and to go to New York for about a month and like really just get a New York feel in my book. And I had some photographers that I had worked with in LA. So I was like, hey, I'm coming to New York. Will you be available so that we can do some shoots? And they were like, yeah, sure. So go to New York. And like before I went to New York, my roommate was just kind of like, we went to dinner because it had literally been like, we lived in our apartment for 2 years. And both of us had only had a job for 6 months out of those 2 years that we had lived there. And I was like, oh my gosh, like we have literally been killing it and like living here and haven't had really any issues. So let's go out and celebrate. So we go to celebrate and she was just like, so is this for you telling me you're moving to New York? And I was like, no, ma'am. Like I haven't even been there yet. Like I'm not moving to New York. So she's like, okay, if you say so. So go to New York, like end of August, and everyone I met was like, why don't you live here? I said, because I live in LA where it's sunny and it doesn't snow and it's beautiful. Like that's where I live. And I just felt like, I was like, why does everybody keep asking me why I don't live here? So I was like pushing it off. One day I just felt God say, you can trust me to get you jobs in LA. Can you trust me to get you jobs in New York? And I was like, and I was real honest. I said, sir, I don't know if I trust you that much. I don't know, because that's a lot of trust. Okay. I don't know nobody here. I don't live here. Like rent is expensive. Like, I don't know if I trust you that much. So come towards the end of my trip, I had to go to Atlanta for a friend's wedding, and my friend was from Newark. Her mom was like, hey, if you need a place to stay when you come to New York, you can just come live with me until you get on your feet. And I was like, so you like serious about this? Like, you're not trying to, so you really want me to move to New York? So I was like, okay, we're gonna think about this. So before I left Atlanta, my flight was oversold. They gave me a free ticket. And I was like, okay, so this is my plane ticket back to New York. This is a lot. So I went back to LA and just didn't feel at home anymore. And I'm from LA and it just was not home. Like I was in the airport, like, why am I here? Like I should not be here. So I had to go home, told my parents like, hey, I'm out. Did not take it that well. My mom didn't. My dad was okay, because my stepmom helps him get prepared. And I stayed there. This was like October. I moved in December 10th. I moved to New York and have lived here now for 5 years, a little over 5 years now. And it has been one of the best decisions that I've made in my life. God has definitely showed up and showed out. 2 years ago, I went full-time freelance. So that's been a journey. Okay. And it's just been great. Like when I first moved here, I did have a part-time job. I was also styling, because there's no billboard that says Raven's here and available now, but it all worked out. He's kept me in literally for these 5 years. And it's just been amazing to live in New York and be able to work in New York. I'm in DC right now, but it's been great to be full-time freelance in New York City. So if you guys want to know more about like how to become a stylist and all of those things, I'll probably do like a short video about that. I am working on a course that gets you like an intro into styling, gives you all the ins and outs and things like that, because people constantly emailing me or DMing me like, hey, can you tell me how to be a stylist? You can assist or you can learn how I did on my own. So that's just what it is. But I hope this helped someone. I was very quick, sorry, because I had to check out this hotel, but I hope that it helped someone and that you guys understand just like how much God loves you and how much he's here for you and will cover and protect you in the things that he sends you into. So yeah, but until next time, guys, yeah, have an amazing day. Hit the subscribe, like, thumbs up, all of those things. And my next video will be coming very soon. Bye.